So obviously Nintendo didn't budge on the pricing on the Switch Online expansion pack. I mean, who are we kidding? We knew they wouldn't change the price, not right away anyway. It's currently $50 a year for a single person, $80 a year for a family membership. It is live now. The family membership's where it's at. Can have up to 8 users on your account. And the cool thing with that is you could split it up and just be like, hey, 8 people, $10 each, $10 a year, invite them. And you don't have none of their personal information. You don't have access to their account, nothing like that. You could just invite people and kick them. They can themselves, if they're on your family membership, leave or make their own membership if they want. But either way, it just works and it works out great. That's one way to save some bucks there, right? So let's take a look. I did have to do a system update to get access to all this. It was prorated. I have a family membership. They charged me a little over $50 to upgrade to the new account. I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much, but we have to get this installed. So Animal Crossing not available yet. The Happy Home Paradise. Then we have Genesis and Nintendo 64. I want to test some of this stuff out with you guys. I do have my controllers on the way for Nintendo 64 and Genesis. We'll take a look at that in the very near future, probably within the next couple days. But let's install the Nintendo 64 and the Genesis app, the free download. Let's get that going. Yes, come on. Continue the shopping action, right? Let's go back to the Genesis and just click from there. Make it easier, right? It's a little laggy. A lot of people may be on here. All right, Genesis. All right, we're going to install both of these, and then we'll be right back to test some games out. See how it looks and feels. Right now I'm using a Pro controller, so that's where it's at. So we'll go ahead and cut to that. We'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. Everything downloaded and installed. It took a little longer than usual, especially with the file size. Maybe the server's congested a little bit. But I want to take a look at Nintendo 64 first. See how a couple games look and feel. If there's any noticeable, like, lag. You got that little ding. Like, what was that, from Mario 64? One-player games, play with everyone. If you select this, it's going to ask you to initialize another controller. So I'm not going to mess with that. You can also play some of these games online. He's got his locked, so I can't play with him. But if you go online, you could choose a game, play while you wait, that kind of thing. Play multiplayer games. Pretty cool. I haven't really done too much of that with the other services on here, the NES, Super Nintendo, but you have that option here. So let's go ahead. One player. Let's see what we got. So you can move things around if you want, which I'm not going to do. You could press X to get some little details on the game. Release year, just some basic stuff, right? So there we go. Let's go ahead and I want to check out Mario Kart 64. Okay. Brings back memories. Especially to be able to play this online. I mean, this old school Mario Kart 64 is pretty fun, man.
Mario Grand Prix. Select your player. Let's go.
Not in the game yet, but so far everything feels responsive. Press minus the... Okay. Load, create, suspend points, so you have your save states and all that good stuff. Oh, did they make sure that the big screen over here reflects the gameplay? Oh my god, this is crispy, man. I'm kind of screwing up though, but whatever, man. Third place. Where's the big screen? There it is, emulated just fine. Oh crap. Get out of here, Yoshi. Bitch. There we go. Okay, so there we go. A little bit of Mario Kart. We're going to play a few other games in a moment here, but as you saw, the emulation seems to be fine. Everything's pretty sharp. Visually, the sound is fine. Not really seeing anything with glitches. Latency, I'm not perceiving any crazy lag or anything. Gameplay's just fine with the Pro controller. But there is one problem here, and this is an issue that was on the Wii Virtual Console version of the game. Say you want to save some ghost data, some time trial data, go to time trial. It's going to give you that error that there's no controller pack detected to save the ghost data. You could save your game just fine, but you can't save your ghost data. They didn't incorporate a controller pack into the emulator that they're using here, which just seems like a weird omission, even though, yeah, it was the same with the previous version on the Wii of the Wii Virtual Console. But, you know, charging this money for the service, you would have thought maybe they would have, you know, added something to the emulator here, because every other Nintendo 64 emulator will emulate a controller pack being attached. So, I don't know what to tell you. Let's move on and test out another game. Okay, so moving on to a little bit of Mario 64. The one reason I wanted to check this one out was because it's on the 3D All-Stars, and I wanted to see if there's any major difference here. And obviously with the version they use, there's going to be a difference. But Testicle, mainly what you're going to notice is like the text and the icons weren't, you know, they're not redone like they were for 3D All-Stars. So that's still going to be a bit of a different version than this. But so far, everything Nintendo 64 is looking good, other than a little save issue in Mario Kart. That's the only thing I really have noticed as being an issue so far. Some of the games, playing them takes me a little getting used to using a Pro controller. I don't know. I mean, are you like me where if you're just like, you know, a controller was unique to the system in the game, like you have a hard time like readjusting? Like, it's not crazy hard, but it takes me a moment to reacclimate myself, especially, you know, using like Pro controller doesn't like have the C buttons, so you're using the analog stick as the C buttons, which... Okay, well, moving on from that, but I do want to touch on the controls real quick. Like I was saying a moment ago, the one thing that it throws me off, but it just takes a moment to get used to, is the C buttons being the analog stick and the like X and Y button on the actual controller. So you have multiple options. It just takes me a minute to get used to it. As playing these games, I was just so used to playing them on a Nintendo 64 controller. So, you know, some people may be fine. Others may take them a little longer to get used to it. If you never played Nintendo 64 before or used the controller, it may not be something that you even notice. But for me, it's just, yeah. I mean, having these games the day they came out and playing them for years, I'm just so used to the Nintendo 64 controller. Hopefully, when the Nintendo 64 controllers from Nintendo show up, everything's just reflected the way they should be, which I would assume it's going to work just right for the Nintendo 64 on the expansion pack here. Let's boost. Really looking forward to using those controllers, man. And I really hope Nintendo fixes that controller pack issue with their emulation, which I have my doubts that they will. Okay, so before we move on to SEGA Genesis and test a couple games there, I wanted to take a look at Ocarina of Time real quick. Awesome game. My favorite Zelda game is probably Link to the Past. Ocarina of Time may be my number 2. I'm not sure. It's a great freaking game, though. But like these pre-rendered backgrounds, they're always a little jarring. Even on original hardware, if you play on a modern TV, like I think the 3D polygon characters and whatnot, it just doesn't mesh very well. But it works. I mean, it worked a lot better on CRTs back in the day, but we don't have any visual options with the Nintendo 64 on here, so that's one thing to point out. But it doesn't really bother me. It's noticeable with those pre-rendered backgrounds on this game. But everything's looking good. Texture's still muddy as all hell. Just everything's a little sharper looking, I guess you would say. A little more crisp. So there we go. That's a little bit of Ocarina of Time. Wonderful, wonderful game. Wish it would have been released in a Zelda anniversary package, damn it. Come on, Nintendo. All right, moving on. Okay, little SEGA Genesis. Let's check it out. Sega. Nice, I like that they added that. So we have a handful of games here. They will be adding more to both systems eventually. It's funny, Contra Hardcore. I remember talking about that in a video once, and somebody tried claiming I was saying the name incorrectly, that it's supposed to be Hard Corpse, a dead body type of thing. And it's like, I don't get into those kind of arguments, man. Like, if you don't know how a word's said and you want to try to knock me, that's fine. I say words incorrectly all the time, but I don't think it's worth my time attacking people over stuff like that. But, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and check out a game real quick. So this one, instead of the minus button, you got to hold the ZR to get into the suspend menu. This is rewind, like you could rewind. Press it again to go to the load, create, reset game, and game select, all that. So there's that. Let's go ahead and check this out real quick. See if there's any weird shimmering or lag or anything. I always, whenever I play this game, I always accidentally press the button to do the like the shadow dance thing, whatever his special move is, but this time I didn't do it. I'm happy with myself. I mean, using the analog, using the D-pad. I feel it's very responsive, like no noticeable latency for me. Like I could play this, man. I'm very particular when it comes to emulation. If the emulation there's too much latency, it also depends on your TV as well, but this feels fine to me. Not having any issues for either system on this collection, but okay. Let's go ahead and check out another game. I mean, Sonic 2 is kind of a go-to, but let's check it out. Let's see if we got that blast processing here. I mean, if the emulation that they have going on can't handle Sonic 2, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. And yes, it does seem so. So there you go, a little bit of a SEGA Genesis, Sonic 2, and, everything's running fine. No issues other than the one that I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to keep harping on it, but Nintendo does need to come up with something. Come on, man, we want our ghost data. But, is this worth it? I mean, it really amounts to just very little money a month. If you look at it that way, and that's how some people are defending it, like, hey, it's not a lot of money. But, I mean, for me, that's not for me to judge what somebody thinks is worth it and not worth it. I mean, value's got to be there for you. A lot of us are paying, plenty of different subscription fees for different services and whatnot out there. And to tack this one on, one-time fee every year, some will be able to justify it, some will not. And that's fine, man. I think so far everything is done fairly well other than that one issue with the saving. Like, come on now. Have to wait and see. Hopefully there's no other issues that come about with other games that they add or anything like that. But, yeah. I think it's cool to have access to these games this way. Personally, I wish that I could purchase them as standalone titles or as packs, but it's neither here nor there, as the ladies like to say. I mean, some people are like, hey, this is just one way to play, and that's fine, man. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you jump into this service? Are you paying for this? If you are, is it worth it to you? I mean, I ain't judging nobody, man. I paid for it myself. Got plenty of people on my account. So there you go. Appreciate every single one of you guys hanging out, chilling with me today. Give you guys a big ass blurry thumb butt like a Bigfoot. And we'll catch you guys next time. Bye.